NBC just made an announcement that sent fans into a frenzy. Caitlin Clark, a 23-year-old who hasn't played a professional basketball game in over 6 months, is joining their NBA pregame show alongside Carmelo Anthony, Vince Carter, and Tracy McGrady. 3 Hall of Famers and a woman who's played exactly 53 WNBA games. And here's what's wild. Fans are calling this the Michael Jordan deal, because NBC used to do the exact same thing with MJ. But there's a problem nobody's talking about. See, Michael Jordan was famous for his trash talk, his confidence, his willingness to say exactly what he thought, no matter who it upset. Caitlin Clark? She's known for the opposite. Reserved, careful. She dodges controversy like she dodges defenders. And that's got some people asking a dangerous question. Can she actually do this job? Because being a great player doesn't make you a great analyst. The skills are completely different. You need opinions. You need to be willing to call out LeBron when he's coasting, to say the Knicks made a bad trade, to pick sides. That's not Caitlin Clark's style. So why did NBC just hand her one of the biggest platforms in sports media? The answer reveals something much bigger happening behind the scenes, something that could change women's basketball forever. Let's be clear about what NBC is doing here. Their new Sunday Night Basketball debuts February 1st. Lakers versus Knicks at Madison Square Garden. This is their flagship launch. They need eyeballs. And there's no bigger name in basketball right now than Caitlin Clark. Not LeBron, not Steph, not even Victor Wembanyama. When it comes to pure cultural conversation, Clark is it. NBC executive Sam Flood said it himself. There's no more iconic figure in basketball in the women's game right now, or the game in general. Read that again. Or the game in general. They're not putting her on the show despite being a woman. They're putting her on because she might be the most marketable athlete in all of basketball. And that's where the Michael Jordan comparisons come in. Back in the day, NBC would bring Jordan on as a special guest analyst, not because he needed the exposure, but because they needed him. His presence turned an ordinary broadcast into an event. That's exactly what they're doing with Clark. She's not auditioning for a job. NBC is auditioning for her. But not everyone's celebrating. The moment this news dropped, a familiar debate exploded online. Why Caitlin Clark? Why not Angel Reese? Why not A'ja Wilson, the actual 4-time MVP? Why does one player get every opportunity while others get ignored? And let's be honest about what people are really asking. Is this about talent, or is this about something else? Some fans were blunt. They called it what they see it as, racial bias. The media elevating a white player while black stars get overlooked. It's a conversation that's followed Clark since college, and it's not going away. Her defenders say she earned this, that her college records, her ratings, her social media following, all of it proves she's simply the biggest draw in the sport. Her critics say that's exactly the problem, that the system was built to make someone like her the biggest draw, and other players never had the same chance. There's no easy answer here, but one thing is clear. This NBC deal just poured gasoline on a fire that was already burning. But let's set that debate aside for a moment, because there's a more immediate question that matters. Can Caitlin Clark actually be good at this? Think about the best NBA analysts: Charles Barkley, Shaq, Draymond Green. What do they have in common? They say things that make you uncomfortable. They pick fights. They have opinions that get people talking the next day. Caitlin Clark has never been that person. In interviews, she's polite, measured. She compliments opponents. She credits teammates. She gives answers that could come from a PR handbook. That's smart for a player protecting endorsement deals. But it's death for a TV analyst. Nobody's tuning in to hear someone say, both teams played hard. So what happens when Maria Taylor asks her to break down LeBron's performance? And he had a bad game? What happens when they want her take on a controversial call? Will she have the edge? The willingness to be honest, even when it's awkward? Or will she play it safe and prove the skeptics right? Here's what makes this moment so fascinating. Caitlin Clark hasn't played a real game since July 15, 2025. That's when she went down with her 4th injury of the season, a groin strain that ended her year after just 13 games. While she was rehabbing, the Fever made it all the way to the WNBA semifinals without her. They lost to the Aces, but they proved something. Indiana can compete at the highest level. Meanwhile, Clark was watching from the sideline, and apparently she was also taking meetings, because this NBC deal didn't happen overnight. Someone reached out, Conversations happened, terms were discussed, all while the WNBA and its players were locked in a heated CBA battle that still isn't resolved. Think about the timing here. The league and the players' union can't agree on a new deal. There's talk that the 2026 season could be threatened if negotiations collapse. And right in the middle of all that uncertainty, Clark is building relationships with NBC, expanding her media presence, creating options that have nothing to do with actually playing basketball. Is that smart business, or is it something more? Let's connect the dots. Caitlin Clark made over $16 million last year, almost all of it from endorsements, not her WNBA salary. She has deals with Nike, Gatorade, State Farm, Wilson, and about a dozen other brands. She has more leverage than any WNBA player in history, and she knows it. Now she's adding media to her portfolio, and not just any media, NBA media, the league where the real money is, the league with billion-dollar TV contracts. Some people see this and think, great, she's building her brand. But others see something different. They see a player who might be worth more outside the WNBA than inside it. A player who could walk away tomorrow and still be one of the most famous athletes in America. And if you're the WNBA negotiating a new CBA, trying to keep your biggest star happy, that has to terrify you. Because Caitlin Clark doesn't need the WNBA anymore. The question is, does the WNBA need her? This Sunday, February 1st, Caitlin Clark will sit alongside 3 Hall of Famers and analyze an NBA game at Madison Square Garden. She'll either prove she belongs in that chair or confirm that she's out of her depth. But either way, one thing is already clear. She's not just a basketball player anymore. She's becoming something bigger, something the WNBA has never seen before. A player who doesn't just play the game, but might end up owning a piece of it. The Michael Jordan comparisons might sound crazy today, but give it 10 years. We might look back at this NBC deal as the moment everything changed.